Today's video is going to be a little different. I'm not using notes today, and I won't be citing a lot of resources that I normally cite during my videos. We're going to talk about two things employers need to do, or Black women will continue to leave and they won't return to the workplace or their workplace. This video is really for employers and for Black women. If you're new to this channel, my name is Colette. I created this channel as a safe space with Black women in mind. I help them to embrace new seasons of their life with purpose and joy. If this sounds like something that's of interest to you, please join the community. I'd love to have you. So today's video is going to be pretty short, and it will conclude the Women Get Out series. And I'm not going to use notes. I did some research, and I'm not going to cite all the stuff because I wanted to talk to you from the head and the heart. I'm talking to you from the head as a practitioner. As some of you may know, I have a master's degree in leadership and organizational skills and almost 20 years of managerial experience. I'm also working on a doctorate in leadership. So that's from the head. From the heart, I'm talking as a person who has been in a workplace that I will be describing later. So you're going to get a dual perception of what I'm speaking of. So when I speak about the two things that employers need to do, they're not in any particular order, but I'm first going to say employers, number one, you need to clean up your workplace. You need to clean it up. Many of you are completely aware that you have allowed, you have been complicit with, you have ignored, and you have not addressed these toxic workplaces. You're aware of it. And you may say, Colette, well, how do you know I'm aware of it? You're aware of it because you've been getting complaints and your people have been leaving. So you're aware of it. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Clean up these toxic workplaces. Many of them, if not all of them, are run or by toxic leaders and toxic bosses who spread toxicity and wreak havoc in the workplace. Black women are leaving because we're tired of dealing with incompetent, insecure, and immature leaders within these toxic workplaces. We're not going to take it anymore. We're tired of it. So you need to do something about it if you would like us to return to your workplaces. Now, some of you may not want us to return to your workplaces, and that's fine. One of the things I'm happy to say is that Black women, we're so resilient, and many of us are opening our own businesses and going into full-time entrepreneurship at record numbers. And this can continue and will continue. Unfortunately, for organizations that decide not to clean up their workplaces, you will not be able to avail yourself of the wonderful and unique skill sets that educated Black women, many of us are educated. Black women are some of the most educated people on the planet, but you won't be able to avail yourself of our skill sets if you continue to allow the toxicity to exist and continue within your workplaces. And as a result, studies show your profits will go down. So there's that. That's number one. Clean up your toxic workplaces. The other way you can clean up your toxic workplaces is to get rid of these incompetent bosses who should not be in leadership. Get rid of them today. Okay, that's very simple. Number two, fix these broken diversity and equity and inclusion programs. We're sick of the fake DEI programs. We're tired of the slick flyers and pamphlets and the beautiful websites. We're tired of that. We want to know what you're doing about the complaints that we bring to these program heads. What's happening to the complaints? So we know that diversity is inviting people to the party. Inclusion is asking them to dance. Why aren't more Black women included in the executive leadership positions or hiring panels? Why is that? It's because your programs are not real. They're fake. They're for performance. They're performative only, and we're tired of that as well. And by the way, the quote that I just used was not mine. It's by a social scientist. I'll try to find her information and link it in the description box. But we are tired of these fake programs. The other thing we're tired of is you putting a Black woman over these programs who don't even do what they're supposed to do. And we understand, we know, and we've dealt with people who look like us that are not for us. They're there for themselves. We've dealt with that forever in our community. So we understand when you put a Black woman or a Black man, or the new term, a person of color, in these positions over these DEI programs that do nothing, that just hold a space so that you can count and say, look, this is who we have running the program. These people do nothing. These programs are broken and they are not, they don't do what they're supposed to do, and they're not being accountable to the employees that they're supposed to look out for, the underrepresented employees. And right now, I'm talking specifically about Black women. Every study has shown that people from marginalized communities are doing worse in the workplace as it relates to promotion, as it relates to getting opportunities for advancement. Every study shows that. And every study also shows that Black women are doing worse than everyone. So fix your programs or don't proclaim to have them. And you may say, Colette, you seem pretty angry. I am mad as hell. I am. I'm mad as hell at what's going on in these organizations, knowingly. What are you guys going to do about it? So for Black women, don't work for organizations where there is a toxic, hostile working environment. Don't work there. Where you have to deal with microaggressions or racial discrimination. Don't work at these organizations. If these organizations are not handling or addressing complaints regarding toxic work environments or racial discrimination, run, don't walk away from those employers. Don't work there. If you are working in an organization where they are not addressing toxic work environments, including microaggressions and racial discrimination, figure out a way that you can exit that organization. I'm not going to get into details about how to create an exit plan. Please look at some of my prior videos that kind of map those things out. I also have a video for folks who have decided they have had enough, like me. that provides resources, and I'll link that up here somewhere. You can look at that. But sisters, you have options. You really do. And I get that it's a hard decision to make. I am living on 50% of my prior income. 50%. All money ain't good money. It just is not. And we have to make a decision. What's important to us? You living, is that important to you? If it is, maybe reconsider where you work. You don't have to be subjected to abuse in the workplace, including racial discrimination and gender-based discrimination. For us, the intersectionality of race and gender, you know, it's common for us, and I'm not saying that it's not happening to other marginalized groups. It is, but my audience is Black women, and I'm speaking directly to you. And sisters who are in leadership positions, who work for these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in these organizations, who do nothing. You need to do better. You need to do better than what you are doing. You know what's happening within these organizations, and you know why you were put in the position that you were put in. You absolutely know. Do better. So this video, I know it seems, it's an angry video because I'm mad. I'm mad for us, and I want us to. We deserve to go to work and not be harassed and not to be discriminated against and to be treated fairly, and to be promoted and viewed based on our merit. We deserve that. And so that's why I'm pretty passionate about it. And it's why I didn't use notes today. I have a lot of resources in the description boxes that I was going to talk about. I'll just link them in there. You all can read them if you want. But we deserve better. We really, really do. And let me just share something with you. During the civil rights, and I'm sure you guys have heard about the bus strikes and all that, you know, Black people, they couldn't even get on the bus and enter the bus through the front. Not only could we not sit in the front, we had to sit in the back. We had to, and my grandmother kind of shared some of this with me when she lived, before she moved away from the South. But Black people had to get on the bus and pay, then get off the bus and get on the bus through the back door and sit in the back. Okay? That's what we had to do. And if somebody white came and the seats in the front were filled and they came to the back, if somebody white came, you had to give up your seat. That was the expectations. And we did it for a long time until we got tired and we stopped. And we had to shut that down. And we did shut it down. And it may be time to shut some other stuff down. And I'm serious about that. We may have to shut some stuff down to demand that we be treated with respect and to demand that we be seen and valued for what we bring to the table that we probably built. Okay? So don't work for employers or apply for employers that allow toxic workplaces to continue to exist and that do not handle their discrimination complaints or treat Black women fair. So, how do you know this? Look at the news. Everything is available. You can Google. If you want to work for an employer, Google that employer. See what's happening. And when you Google it, click on the news tab. See what's in the news about this employer. If you see that this employer, let's say you apply to a call center and you see that this call center is not taking their calls or they're being taken to the legislators repeatedly for not being able to answer the calls, that's a sign that that's probably a toxic work environment. Why? Because they're not taking the calls. Managers are going to be stressed. Employees are going to be stressed. Red light. toxic work environment? Possibly. Don't work there. Why put yourself through it if you have the information? How do you know that they don't handle racial discrimination complaints? Again, you can Google. You want to work for an employer? Do your research. Boom. Does that employer have a number of racial discrimination accusations? Do they have settlements? Is this information in the news? Recently, we heard about a company, okay, with a number of racial discrimination complaints. Why would you want to work someplace like that, regardless of what they pay? All money is not good money. So we have the ability to research some of these organizations before we work there. And I realize some of us are already there and we have a lot of other things to consider. You have to do what you need to do for yourself and for your family. But if you are not already working in one of these places and let's say you actually left a toxic work environment or a place where you were being discriminated against and you're looking for another job, research that job. What is their makeup in their executive leadership branch? You can go to their website, the About Us page, our leadership page. You'll see the pictures. You'll see them. You know, what are these? What is the makeup? How many Black people are there? How many Black women are there? And not just people of color. That's the new catchphrase, people of color. Okay, because I have found that many people of color, they definitely don't ally with Black people. And I'm just keeping it real, 100% real. Okay, so you have this information. Again, I will link my video regarding the resources, the things to do after you leave a toxic work environment. I'll link that in this video. This concludes the Black Women Get Out series. Found this video helpful. Please share it. If you know some toxic employers, please feel free to share it on your Facebook. Send it everywhere, Twitter, whatever, because people need to know. They need to know what's going on in these organizations. And not only do they need to know, they need to be held accountable to stop it now. Okay? So share it, like it, subscribe for some new videos I have coming out. I have a lot of neat things planned. I'm going to be starting a new series, and it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm pretty happy to move forward on that. And also, when you subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. Okay. Until next time, we'll talk.